So you just got your first piano or your first keyboard and you're feeling a little lost. Maybe you've been learning from piano YouTube tutorials. You might even have a great ear for listening and seeing what notes are right, what notes are not. I mean, you might even have a good memory, remembering what keys to play following all these synesthesia tutorials. But it takes a long time to learn, it's easy to forget what you learned, and you can't really read music. By the end of this video, I'm going to take you from not knowing anything about the piano to knowing how to read music without a piano teacher, so you can play any piece you want to play. My name is Lucian Liu from Easy Piano Hacks, and this is 5 steps to reading music on the piano. Number 1 is called tone production. I'm going to show you how sounds are produced on a piano. There are high sounds, middle sounds, and low sounds. There are loud sounds and soft sounds. There are long sounds and short sounds. But what's inside the piano? How does the piano make the sound? Inside the piano, a hammer hits a string. Each key has a hammer. And when each key is pressed, a hammer hits the string. A damper comes up and allows the string to vibrate. Once you let go of that key, this damper comes down and erases the sound. Number 2 is proper form. This is how to have the correct hand posture and sitting position at the piano. You want to sit on the front half of the piano bench with your back straight and your arms hang loose. Elbows are slightly higher than the keys, and your feet are flat on the floor. What is the proper hand position? Where do you put your fingers? Well, you want your fingers in a natural curve. You don't want them bending inwards. You want them curved. So what you can do is you put your palm on a surface and you pull them up. Some people like to put a small coin on top of the wrist, and then you can imagine an egg under your fingers. Now, you don't have to do all this, but it is a pretty good exercise. Number 3 is finger numbers. If you don't follow the finger numbers, you can make a lot of mistakes and you might not be able to play as fast as you could. You'll see finger numbers in sheet music. They'll tell you the best fingers to use. This can make a difficult piece very easy to play. Here are your finger numbers. So you start out with your thumbs. Your thumbs in both hands are 1. Your second finger is your index finger, third finger is your middle finger, your fourth finger is your ring finger, and your pinkies are your 5th finger. So count from the inwards, outwards, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 4 is key names. In music, there are only 7 unique letters of the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's no H, there's no I, there's nothing past that. It's just A to G. Now, how do you figure this out quickly? Where are these keys on the piano keyboard? Well, you see that there are groups of black keys. You see groups of 2 black keys and then groups of 3 black keys. When you see groups of 2 black keys, you will see that there are 3 white keys. To the left of this group of 2 is C. That is C everywhere else on the keyboard. Anywhere you find a group of 2, to the left of it is C. So you take that concept, the middle of that is D. The next one after that is E. So when you see a group of 2, you can easily find C, D, and E. That's 3 down already. We have 4 more to go out of the 7. So take that concept, apply it to the group of 3. So with a group of 3, you can find F on the left side, G, A, and B. So with a group of 3, you can find F, G, A, B. That's all 7. A lot of piano students online feel lost during the beginning. If you ask any of these people online, they'll tell you all kinds of things they've learned to help memorize what notes are what names, and it gets really confusing sometimes if you're just starting out. What they're referring to are the lines and the spaces. You see on the top line right here, you can see that there's E, G, B, D, F, A, C, C, and then this is the same middle C, so you can play in the left hand or the right hand. This is the same note, E, G, B, D. So these are all notes on lines. These are all notes on spaces. And so there are certain mnemonics that you can learn to use. You can also use these F, A, C, E, or like this F-A-C-E spells face. So that's how I remember these 4 notes on the spaces. And then you can remember E, G, B, D, every good boy deserves. And then you have the other one at the top, which is F, fudge, right? So E, G, B, D, F. So E, G, B, D, F. And this is all repeated. So E, G, B, D, F, F-A-C-E, right? And then it goes F-A-C-E, G, B, D, F-A-C-E. So this is learning to count notes in thirds apart. I definitely use use this myself when I was first starting out. Now you might be thinking, this is a little bit too much for me to handle right now. There's a lot of things to look at and know right now. How do I absorb this in the easiest, the fastest way? Well, there is an easier way. The fastest way to get around that is by using a beginner book. There are all kinds of beginner books that I highly recommend so that you don't have to keep memorizing this. You can just learn by doing. So you might have the question, what are good beginner books that I can play through? The book I'm currently holding right now is the Faber and Faber Piano Adventure series. This book uses the pre-reading or off-the-staff method. It starts on the black keys so that you get started playing right away instead of worrying about how to read notes on the grand staff. I highly recommend this book to people who want to get started playing right away, which is why this is such a hit with young children to adults alike. Now, most of you watching are adults, which means that by page 20, you get introduced to the musical alphabet, and by page 32, you get to start reading middle C on the grand staff. So this should be an easy book for you to finish in a very fast amount of time. By level 2A, you will be reading both hands on the grand staff, and by level 2B, you will be playing both hands at the same time. This helps you learn gradually as it gets progressively harder as your skills get progressively better. This also means that you could probably start reading sheet music of your favorite songs. A lot of people online are taught the method to play by chords or learn chords just like you were learning a guitar on the piano. But with this, you can play anything you want to play if it's on sheet music. Instead of just playing the chords, you could be playing the melody, you can be playing all kinds of patterns in the left hand. You can start learning the way that classically trained professional musicians learn to play music. Now, if you're an adult and you want to get started reading sheet music right away, you might want to check out the more traditional approach by Layla Fletcher. It starts by reading on the sheet music. It starts by reading on the grand staff right away. You'll be playing all kinds of classic folk tunes like Merrily We Roll Along or Mary Had a Little Lamb that I think you'll find enjoyable to play as it gradually gets harder and harder as your skills get better and better. Now, if you really love to read and understand what you're playing, this Alfred's Adult All-in-One Piano course is an amazing option as well. You can check out the table of contents in here and it gets super detailed. Here are the first pages you can check out with the finger numbers, the keyboard, but it really gets into all these diagrams that you can read, and it starts by reading the traditional approach as well, with the fingers on the keys, playing the white keys, reading on the staff. So feel free to check this out in the description below. Some of these links are affiliate links, which means that you don't pay anything extra, but they support me by helping me make better videos for you to learn piano online. Now, if you're trying to learn how to read music for free, there's this free ebook that I've created for students just like you on learning online. Now, I wish I could help everybody one-on-one, but that's a little hard to do right now, which is why I created this course and this free ebook, which gives you the same 200 exercises that I use with my students to identify notes and use the right fingering. This could help you read music 2 to 8 times faster than you were reading before. Included in all of this, you'll find music theory introductions, like intervals here, like major seconds, minor thirds, major thirds, semitones, and scales. So with this knowledge, you'll be able to learn to read music 2 to 8 times faster than you were reading before. Because if you can read music instead of 1 note at a time, if you can read 4 notes at a time, and in the future here, you might be able to read an entire scale, which is 8 notes at a time. More on this in the course, so check that out in the link in the description below. You will also find note flashcards that you can download and print off to help you memorize the most common notes. Reading music seems intimidating or seems hard, but there are actually only 30 of the most common notes on the grand staff. I always say, if you know 30 friends and you can match their names to their faces, you can definitely match the names of these notes to what they look like on the grand staff. Now, to be fully transparent, this ebook is part of a course, a sight reading course of mine to help students who are experiencing the following symptoms. If you learn to play piano using YouTube tutorials, you might have a great ear, or you might have been able to memorize what keys to press, especially by slowing down those synesthesia tutorials to half speed or 0.25 times, right? At the end of the day, if you can't read music or you find it difficult to read, we call this music illiteracy. This is all called note blindness, right? And you're not alone. There's so many people online. In fact, 99% I would imagine of people learning piano online have this problem too. But It's really simple when you break it down like this. In English, we have all these letters and they go from A to Z. In music, as we've learned, it goes from A to G, and these are the notes that we have to memorize. There are only 30 of the most common ones. In fact, they repeat over and over again on the keyboard, as you've seen. So with these letters, they make words, right? And in music, we also make chords. We also make other things like scales and melodies. That's how we make sentences and paragraphs in English. So if you can learn how to read and write English, you should be able to at least read music. And if you haven't been able to do that yet, this may be the course for you. So if you think that you have symptoms of note blindness, go ahead and click on that link in the description so that you can see what this means and how do you solve that in the fastest amount of time. After watching this short 12-minute webinar, you'll get taken to a page where you can watch 2 whole videos from the course for free. And if you don't believe me or if this sounds too good to be true, you can read through all the comments and testimonials that people have left from taking the Easy Piano Hacks experience. If you want to see a complete list of gear or tools or books to help you learn piano more easily, go check out easypianohacks.com/tools. The link is in the description. Now let's take a look at some comments from the last video. So here's what you guys had to say about the Jared Radnick Pirates of the Caribbean tutorial. I've been taking piano classes for 2 months. I want to learn this and I will learn it. Wish me luck. Definitely. I admire your ambition, but hey, it may take years. It may take many years for you to play it well. So I challenge you to play it well. Definitely don't set any expectations, but enjoy the game of practicing. Enjoy supplementing with a lot of technique. You're going to have to learn a lot of scales. You know, it took me at least 10 years of practice to start learning this. And I didn't even start this piece till 20 years in. Speed is not the game here. Quality is, okay? All right. I'm only playing the piano since 11 months, so this is way too hard for me. But I'll definitely come back in some years, many years. Definitely. It's not too early to look at what's coming up. You have your goals in mind, but definitely work towards it. You'll definitely be able to play it one day. Just like I did when I heard this. I only heard it 10 years ago. You know, I only started learning it last year. Okay? So good stuff. This is Emily, and she's been able to actually play this by herself. She just bought the music and is super surprised on how intuitive it is. This is actually Emily, who's a feature student. She's 37-year-old mother of 4. She hasn't practiced much in the last 23 years, but she decided to take on this challenge and come back to find her love for piano again. And during quarantine, it's been awesome to help her. She's actually been able to achieve this for Pirates of the Caribbean right here. So glad to see somebody using the metronome and playing at a speed that they are practicing at, that they can actually manage. Not speeding up, not going too slow, not going too fast, just the right amount. If you want to be featured in the next video with your piano playing and what you're working on, send me a direct message on Instagram with you playing the piano in the video. I answer a lot of questions all day, every day, so make sure if you want me to see it, tag me in the stories at Easy Piano Hacks. Ask me any question you want to ask about any piece, how to practice it, how to correct things, how to fix things. Think of me as your friendly neighborhood piano teacher.